Okay, good evening. We're here at a little small boat restoration shop. I want to talk to you a little bit about some rudders and daggerboards that came on the Alcorts and then into the AMF time frame. So anywhere from 1950s sailfish era into the 1960s when the Sunfish appeared. As the boats got bigger and the keels got deeper, the rudders got bigger and the daggerboards got longer. Start off with this little 12-foot sailfish, and that's all they had at the time that Alcort was making, so they called it a sailfish. There was no Super or Mark II or any of that. So that's the 11-foot 7-inch, and its little daggerboard measured about 31 inches, had a little round tip on it. About 19, and up here, go up to the rudder blade. It had what they called the elephant ear blade on it, and the hardware, the old style rudder system was the rudder releasing mechanism, patented in 1952, 53-ish. It had these little, it's called a vertical hinge plate, went onto a horizontal hinge plate on the deck, and a little pin. We'll jump ahead to when the wooden Sunfish came out in 1953. It had the same vertical hinge plate, which is about 4 inches. And you're going to see there's two different sizes of these. So all the wooden boats had this 4-inch vertical hinge plate. Then when 1960 fiberglass boat showed up, same mechanism, except the hinge plate for the fiberglass boat grew to around 7 inches or so, and spin back down. And when they got the deeper keels on for the Sunfish, primarily the fiberglass one we're talking about, they went to this longer daggerboard, 31 inches. We call it the spoon tip because of, you guessed it, little spoon shape on the tip there. So we found this little boat, our little 12-foot sailfish called Winnie. It tacks a little better if we use this longer daggerboard on it, but she runs just fine with her spoon tip, or I'm sorry, elephant ear blade, and a little 65 square foot sail. The Sunfish and the Super Sailfish, which was the same length as the Sunfish, 13.9-ish, all had these longer daggerboards, the spoon tips. And then for the, I'm thinking no, it was in the 60s sometime, the rudder blade shape changed for the Super Sailfish and the Sunfish. And you got this elongated blade like this one here with the round tip on it. And then around 1971 time frame, just for about 1 year, people were tired of the rudder heads cracking, so they came up with this reinforced bracket. So he's got the longer vertical hinge plate, so that went on a Sunfish, and it's got the pointier tip on it. Move the parts box out of the way that you see on today's Sunfish. And once again, back up all the wooden boats. And the fiberglass sailfish had this shorter hinge plate. So if you need that, well, number one, drop us a note and we might have a spare one. But number two, make sure you get the correct one, because there's one short and there's one long. Over here's another. This would be for a Sunfish with the longer blade spoon tip rudder with the 7-inch vertical hinge plate. So parts, do we have parts? Yeah, we got a bunch of parts. Get this whole box full of parts here. Haven't unpacked it yet. So we're working on the pegboard wall. Get that laid out so you can see them. We also have, if you've got a sailfish, we've got some gently used original handrails, and we've also been making them for people. So we have the patterns. to make the little two loop, we call it, two handholds for either your, what they call, for the original sailfish, what they call the standard sailfish now, or your three loop handrail called super sailfish. So finishing up on Daggerboards, here's a spoon tip, 39 inches compared to the original 31. And right behind it, see if I can do this one-handed. Does it want to come out? Is what they call the Barrington board, and it's pretty much the leading edge and trailing edge pretty much parallel all the way down. And there's a little kick up on the bottom end of it there, and that's developed by the Barrington Frostbiters. Better board because 1972 time frame they switched off of this spoon tip board onto the Barrington. I'm sorry, they switched off of the spoon tip and they made a little board called a shadow board. And what happened on it, one of the edges they shaved down for some reason. You can kind of see the difference. Now, some of these are all straight, and then some of them, like this one back here, has a notable amount of wood cut off the leading edge of it. And people started nicknaming that the shadow board because it was a shadow of its former self. So if you're in the market for a Daggerboard and you want original wood or the wood shape, then you want to get to either the spoon tip or the Barrington. And most people avoid the shadow, but I'm sure there's tens of thousands of sunfish out there that have sailed just fine without them. So you get what you can get and go sail and have fun. Here's our little 1959 Sorg runabout hiding under her tarp. You can look up on the top right side of our blog, and we got all our boats listed there with links. Each one of them has a page. This one's a Sorg 15 runabout named Willow. So if you want to read up on Willow, that'd be the place to do it. But what we're going to do next is work on getting some of these pegboard hangers up, get some of these parts put up here. Looks like we've got a few. Now, if you only see one, that's a good chance that we're probably not going to sell our last one. But we got a whole box full of different things behind us. So we're going to go in there. And I know now we're looking for some carriage bolts. We've got the shorter ones for the sailfish. Here's one longer one. And the boat we're working on right now might get that one. But if someone's got some old carriage bolts they don't need, send us a message. We might like to purchase them from you. And on the flip side, if someone's looking for some rudder pins, we've got them in, all the pins are original. Some of them have keeper chains, some of them do not. But if you need one, give us a holler. We can probably get you hooked up. I think we got just about one of each of every part that goes on there. Little mast cap. We might switch over this boat that we just bought to the, we're talking the mast cap on the top end that has, it's just a little plastic piece with eyelet in the top of it. It's a little bit more handy to have than what this boat came with. The early days, at the top of the mast, they had a block with little eye bolts, hole drilled through the mast, and got that block hanging off the top. I'm not sure. New phone. Can I zoom on my phone? What's it telling me? Anyway, zoom the other way. But those work pretty good. But one of the problems is on a few of those eye bolts, they made them out of brass, coated them or chrome plated them, so they look really nice, but they can pull out pretty easy. So check the condition of yours if you've got one like that. If it looks fine, you're good to go sailing. But if it looks like it's starting to pull down and that eye and the eye bolts opening up a little bit, might be time to switch over to the newer style mast cap, or else get a new eye bolt with block on it. Yeah, what else is going on in here? Fed the squirrels. working on a little bench. And as far as the little 1964 we're working on, named Anna, here's the carriage bolt that came out of it. Somebody at one point put on a different, I think they put on a steel nut on the end of this carriage bolt. So we soaked it in oil, we tried to get it loose. But the only way that steel, which had basically bonded itself to this bronze, the only way it came loose was by just shearing off, through a torsion, shearing off the end of that carriage bolt. So we'll need, that's why we need a new carriage bolt. Here's the little rudder pin I was talking about. This is, I don't know where they got this, but this works. It's a 1/4 inch pin, it's bronze, we like that. And I guess they just put a cotter pin or something in there, but that's a lot of work to try to, and I know people do different things, stainless, etc., everything else. You might have some good ideas with little snap pins that go on fast and stay on. But the original design is one of the best we found. It's got a little tab that goes straight when you put it through your horizontal, all your hinge pins. You get out, you just rotate that little tab down. That keeps it in there. So we'll get the new, saw we had a part over there on the other side. That was one of the things I could check off my list to go, I know I have it. And we'll go from there. And what we like to do when we're working on the boats is take a little cup like this, write the boat's name on it. Looks like we'll reuse Waves cup, and start putting the parts in there so all the parts kind of stay in one place. We do have a replacement deck drain plug for it, so we'll start collecting parts for Anna in there. And another project today, working on some trailer light that goes on the bunk, the little guide bunks on the side. We've got the brackets on, and now we just need to go buy some PVC pipe and some cement and put those on and do some electrical wire. It goes on that little 2-inch diameter PVC pipe. So none of the other boats, Tetris update. There's the little Penobscot out there, needs to roll back in her shed. And sun's going down, so we're going to wrap it up. That about does it.